What is good, all you Dolphins fans out there? And today, the first round of the 2020 NFL Draft finally got underway, and the Dolphins have done a pretty good job filling in major needs and holes. We pulled the trigger on our future franchise quarterback in Tua Tagovailoa. They drafted a talented left tackle in Austin Jackson to protect the blind side of Fitzmagic and Tua down the line. Sorry, all you Rosen fans, but Rosen is not the guy, especially after taking Tua. Man, there's no chance that Rosen's going to be our franchise dude moving forward. And with the third pick in the first round, the 26th overall pick, we traded back with the Packers and we went ahead and took Noah Iggy. I haven't quite got the pronunciation down yet, so we're just going to go with Noah Iggy at this point. But obviously, Noah out of Auburn is a coach flow kind of guy. He's a tough, hard-nosed, athletic corner that just dominates his opponent consistently. You can just tell watching his tape that he's going to dominate in this defense. He's going to play all over. He's going to play on the outside. He'll play on the nickel. He's just going to be a perfect fit in this multiple defense. So finally, after months and months of speculation and smoke screens and evaluations and mock draft after mock drafts, the Dolphins have finally pulled the trigger on their future franchise quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa. The talented star college phenom will finally be on the team that has covered his services for at least 2 years. The Dolphins easily could have settled for a talent like a Justin Herbert at pick 5, but the Dolphins brass is just all in at this point, putting faith in Tua and his health that he will indeed be able to lead the team to the winner's circle and maybe even a Super Bowl down the road. Obviously, the biggest concern with Tua is his durability moving forward with just a litany of injuries and surgeries he's been through in college, and we can only hope that Tua's best health is ahead of him moving forward. Austin Jackson was a great first step towards securing a brick wall in front of Tua to protect, honestly, the most important player the Dolphins have drafted in the last 20 years, easily. And with 3 picks on day 2 of the draft, I'm more than confident that the Dolphins will be able to select another elite tackle to protect Tua's blind side on the right side of the line. With the selection of Tua, the Dolphins just really are all in on a talent they're really hoping will develop into a Russell Wilson or Drew Brees, not only on the field but also off it. He's a humble, confident leader that is just everything the team has needed for a very, very long time. He's going to be a much better quarterback than Tannehill on and off the field. In Tua, the Dolphins are getting an ultra-talented quarterback that just can dish dimes all over the field like a true point guard. His biggest strength is just his elite accuracy and touch to all 3 levels of the field. His numbers at Alabama reflect an elite, efficient player that just gets the job done the right way. And despite all the injuries, Tua's sixth sense in the pocket is just off the chart. His ability to sidestep and evade pressure from all angles is just amazing to watch, man. He's an amazing talent. And he does all this while never losing track of his progressions. And I gotta be honest, I really am worried about his health moving forward. But I'm hoping that with all his elite traits on and off the field, we'll be able to outweigh the risks of taking a quarterback this high in the draft with the 5th pick. We really are banking on Tua taking us to the promised land. And we just really have no clue how healthy he's going to be leading up to his second contract with the team. And by all accounts, Tua hip has checked out with doctors and specialists at the Combine, as well as teams that have individually contracted specialists that have checked out his body of health, which the Dolphins have done, which Chris Grier confirmed with Brian Flores and Chris Grier post-draft press conference. If Tua Tagovailoa can stay healthy, I really think he's got a chance to develop into one of the best quarterbacks in the league, just one of the elite talents that can lead an offense year in and year out and just be an elite force to dominate the AFC East and the rest of the league. Yeah, the only thing that's going to hold back Tua is his injuries, and hopefully he'll only have a few minor injuries in his time with the Finns. So moving on to the 18th overall pick, the Dolphins went ahead and selected the talented and super athletic tackle Austin Jackson out of USC. I really was thinking the pick here was going to be Josh Jones or possibly an Ezra Cleveland, but obviously the Dolphins felt like Austin Jackson's got a much higher ceiling to be an elite left tackle in the league. I love this pick for the team. It may have been a bit of a reach for Jackson at 18, but obviously the team believes that Austin has the ability to develop into an elite left tackle for many years to come. Jackson's play on the field just truly resembles a franchise left tackle that can just dominate in any phase of the game. For a man his size, 6'5", 320 pounds, he just moves around the field with relative ease. You can just tell that Jackson is a plus elite athlete that's going to be able to do anything the Dolphins ask of him. He's got elite length, elite size, the athleticism, the way he moves around the field, sky's the limit for him. He is a young dude, 20 years old. I think he's going to be 21, whenever the season starts. Who knows when that's going to be. It could be October, November. Who knows at this point. But Austin Jackson is going to slide in nicely at left tackle. He's going to learn. He's going to develop. He'll get stronger. As he said in his post-press conference, he said that he's 10 times stronger and more athletic than he was during USC's 2019 season. So hopefully those words are true and Austin Jackson can develop into one of the best tackles in the league, and hopefully he'll be one of the best for 10 plus years. And with the third pick in the first round, the team elected to trade with the Packers at 30 to move down in the draft while picking up an extra fourth for day 3, which was a pretty great move. It is pick 130 overall, so it's not super early in the 4th round, but it is something. I mean, it's 5 picks earlier than 135, so that's definitely working in our favour. And we could use those picks to move up in round 3, so yeah, it's only going to help out the team in day 2. While moving up to 26, the Packers took Jordan Love, the supremely talented quarterback out of Utah State. And I'm not going to lie, Jordan Love was one of my favourite prospects in the entire class, and I just really fell in love with his skill set and just awesome talent during the process. And obviously, we could have taken him at 26 if we stood pat, at the 26th overall pick. If we elected to take, one of the best tackles at 5, and whoever else at 18, maybe another tackle or an elite defensive player, but we could have stand pat and taken him at 26. But obviously, the Dolphins decided to go with Tua, and hopefully, it's going to be the right decision in the long run. So yeah, with the 30th overall pick, we took Noah Igbinoghene, the talented, physical, athletic corner out of Auburn, with guys like Christian Fulton and Jeff Gladney still on the board. I really thought the Dolphins probably would have gone with those guys if we were going to take a corner here. I thought this pick was probably going to be an offensive lineman or who knows whoever else it could have been, but definitely didn't think it was going to be a corner. But obviously, Coach Flo sees a role for this guy in this defense, and just watching his tape, he just dominates on the field, man. He's got 4.4 speed. He's 5'10", but he doesn't look it out there on the field. He's got a huge, rocked up, dense frame and long arms, man. He looks like a intimidating player out there on the field. Yeah, just after watching more of his tape, you can just see what Coach Flo sees in this guy. He's super quick. He's physical. I'm sure he can play in the nickel. He played mostly on the outside for Auburn. He's a converted receiver, so, I mean, he hasn't got terrific ball skills, but he definitely gets his hands on balls, but he hasn't got many interceptions, but hopefully the Dolphins can, coach that up and get him to, get in better position to catch those balls and, and get the ball back to the offense. But I can just see the role this guy's going to have. He's also great against the run. He's tremendous in run support. His tackling is super physical and just textbook. And yeah, I'm just excited to see, where he's going to line up in this defense because he can play anywhere, honestly. So overall for the Miami Dolphins, the first round was a fairly successful round for the Finns. We got our guy, Tua Tagovailoa, to hopefully be the franchise quarterback for the team moving forward. We got a hopeful franchise tackle in Austin Jackson. And at 30th overall, we took Noah Igbinoghene out of Auburn. I mean, I'm sorry I'm being disrespectful to his last name, but I've tried to pronounce it and I just cannot get it out. Normally I'm pretty good with last names, but this guy, I just can't get out his last name. I really would have loved for us to take Josh Jones at 30, but obviously I'm going to believe in Coach Flo to find the right role for Noah Igbinoghene. So, looking forward to day 2, there's a number of first-round talents that are here for the Dolphins. Let's start here with running back. DeAndre Swift would be a tremendous addition for the Dolphins at pick 39 or possibly 56 if he falls that far. But DeAndre Swift just really, has the ability to be the feature back in this offense. J.K. Dobbins is also still out there. I've definitely thought he was going to go in the second round. DeAndre Swift, I thought he had a chance to go between 25 to 32, but obviously that didn't happen. But yeah, J.K. Dobbins, probably the fastest running back in this draft. He didn't run at the combine. Who knows if he's quicker than Jonathan Taylor? Another option for us in the second round. I'm sure 56 is going to be the sweet spot for Taylor, but who knows how early he's going to go in the second round. I'm sure that he's coveted by a number of teams. His size, speed, and just explosion combination is off the charts. Cam Akers is another guy still out there. I'm a big fan of him. I love his ability to just make guys miss, in tiny windows. Denzel Mims is a receiver that's still out there. If we want to add a talented receiver to the receiver room. T. Higgins, another big receiver that Dolphins could go after. Laviska Shenault out of Colorado, the explosive offensive weapon that the Dolphins could be taking a look at. KJ Hamler out of Penn State, the Mighty Mouse, the super quick receiver that would add a ton of speed. Michael Pittman Jr. could be another option, the big physical receiver that just, wins 50-50 balls consistently. Chase Claypool, the big physical freak, nearly 240 pounds, 4.4 speed, 40-plus inch vertical leap. He's just a physical freak. Brian Edwards, coming off injury out of South Carolina. I'm a huge fan of his game, and I really think he's got a chance to go late second round to early third round. And Devin Duvernay out of Texas, he's probably going to play slot corner in the NFL, but he's a super quick, receiver that just bounces off dudes consistently. Cole Kmet, onto tight end. Cole Kmet is a guy the Dolphins could be taking a look at. I just love his ability to get open and make plays, and he's also an awesome blocker, so I think he'd be a tremendous tandem with Mike Gesicki. Adam Troutman from Dayton, I'm a fan of his game. Hunter Bryant from Washington, and Harrison Bryant out of Florida Atlantic. Those last two dudes right there, I think will go in the third round. So on to tackle. I think this is going to be a huge emphasis for the team in day 3 with 2 second-round picks and 1 third round. I think we're probably going to be taking one of these tackles. The top guy here is Josh Jones out of Houston. I think he's probably going to go possibly to Cincinnati or earlier than our 7th pick in the second round. Ezra Cleveland out of Boise State. I'm sure he can play on the right side opposite Austin Jackson, and he's also super athletic in his own right. So Ezra Cleveland would be a great addition to this offensive line. Prince Tega-Wanogho from Auburn would be adding another Auburn Tiger to the team. I'm a huge fan of his game as a tackle. I think he's one of the most athletic guys in this tackle class. Just the speed and the quickness that he comes out of his stance with is just off the charts. He's a former soccer player, and you can just tell the way he attacks defenses up the field. Ben Barch out of St. John's. I think he's possibly going to go in the third round. I love the way he looked at the Senior Bowl. Lucas Nyang, he's coming off out of TCU. Big guy, 6'7", or 6'6", whatever he is, but he's coming off a hip injury for TCU. He's probably going to go, somewhere in the third round. Matt Pert out of Connecticut. He's a huge dude, 6'7", 36.5-inch arms. This guy's just got awesome length, and who knows? The Dolphins could covet him in the third round. And Sadiq Charles out of LSU, one of my favorite tackles in this class. He's got similar athleticism to Austin Jackson. Just watching his game for LSU the past couple of years, man, he does not look like he's 300 plus pounds, man. He looks like a 250 pound, but like D-end, the way he moves out there, just the way he can come out of his stance and, move in pass protection. Sadiq Charles definitely is a guy to look at in the third round at 70th overall, but I'm sure many team evaluators are seeing what I'm seeing on tape, so he's probably going to go somewhere, in the second round, out of reach. Who knows, we might even take him with pick 56. On to guards. John Simpson is probably out of Clemson, probably going to go somewhere in the third round. Robert Hunt out of Louisiana Lafayette, 6'5", 330 plus pounds. I'm a huge fan of his game, but he is injury prone. Damian Lewis out of LSU, he's an absolute fridge of a guard, and he possibly, we've got Eric Flowers in there at right guard, but who knows? Robert Hunt could slide to left guard to make an awesome, powerful offensive line up the middle. And last but not least, Ben Bredesen out of Michigan. He's a pretty talented guy that we could probably slide into the starting lineup. There's a couple of good centers still available. We'll start here with Lloyd Cushenberry out of LSU. He's definitely my top center in this class, and he could possibly slide next to Ted Karras as our starting center, or possibly our starter at left guard. Matt Hennessy out of Temple. He's kind of a different player to Cushenberry. He's more of a finesse zone blocking scheme kind of center. Cushenberry is more of a powerful man blocking center that just wins with pure power at the initial contact. On to defensive tackles. Marlon Davidson still out there. I'm sure he's going to go early second round. Ross Blacklock out of TCU. I definitely could see the Dolphins taking him with one of our second round picks. Neville Gallimore out of Oklahoma. Similar to Blacklock, I think he could be coveted by the team just by his immense athleticism. I think that he can play anywhere on the Dolphins' defensive front. I think he ran at 4.7 at the combine, or 4.8, whatever it was. But Neville Gallimore, just a freak athlete. Justin Matabuki, Texas A&M, is going to go somewhere in the second or third round. Just like Gallimore, he's a super explosive defensive tackle that really collapses the pocket. On to the third round here. Jordan Elliott out of Missouri. Big, huge dude, 6'4", 320 pounds. I think that he'd be tremendous next to Devon Godshaw and Christian Wilkins. Raekwon Davis out of Alabama. I think the Dolphins are definitely going to covet this guy. There's been some rumors that they've had multiple interviews with Davis, so I think he'd be perfect in this defense. Yeah, 6'7". He's tremendous against the run, and he definitely can rush the passer. Leaky Fotu out of Utah, the huge Islander, 6'5", 340 pounds, whatever he is, but the way he moves for his size is truly special, and I think he could definitely be the nose tackle in this defense. And one last honorable mention for defensive tackles, James Lynch possibly could go somewhere in the third round, but I don't think the Dolphins are going to be taking a look at James Lynch in the third round. On to edge rushers. I think this is the best crop here. Yetur Gross-Matos is still out there. Zach Bourne out of Wisconsin still available. AJ Epinesa, a guy that could fit perfectly in his defense. Terrell Lewis, injury prone but a physical freak. Josh Uche, extremely versatile, would be a tremendous addition to this defense. He'd slide in perfectly. He's a speed rusher. He can drop into coverage. Josh Uche out of Michigan. Yeah, be keeping a close look at him. Jonathan Greenard out of Florida. As I said in my last couple of videos, I'm a huge fan of him. I'd love the Dolphins to take him, preferably with our third round pick. Julian Okwara out of Notre Dame, speed rusher. He'd be a cool addition, possibly somewhere in the second or third round. Bradley Anaya in Utah. I think he's going to go in the second round. He's just super talented as an edge rusher. Curtis Weaver. I mean, I could have mentioned him first on this list, but I'm a huge fan of the way he rushes the passer. You wouldn't have expected for a guy like him. He's got kind of like a flabby build at 260 pounds, but the way he can get after the quarterback is breathtaking. He's got just elite get off and power getting to the quarterback. If you want to take a look at linebackers, Malik Harrison out of Utah State kind of reminds me of a more bigger, athletic Raekwon McMillan. Logan Wilson out of Wyoming. I'm a huge fan of his game, man. He's super athletic and just instincts are off the charts. So I think he's going to go definitely somewhere mid to early day 3. Willie Gay Jr., he lit up the combine, but yeah, at times he really doesn't show up on tape. Out of Mississippi State, he ran a 4.4. And Akeem Davis Gaither out of Appalachian State. He's had tremendous production for App State the past couple of years, and who knows, it could be a guy the Dolphins are looking at in the third round. So, onto corner. I don't think we're going to be looking at a corner. Who even knows, man? I'm sure we've got enough corners at this point. We got bloody Xavier Howard, Byron Jones, Noah Igbinoghene now at this point, Nick Needham, Jamal Wiltz. I mean, we got a number of guys. And we got Cordrea Tankersley coming back from injury. So, I mean, I'm sure we're set at corner. But if we were to take a look, Christian Fulton's still out there out of LSU. Jalen Johnson out of Utah. He was getting some first round love, but he's fallen today too. Bryce Hall out of Virginia. Cameron Dantzler, Mississippi State. Michael Ojumuda out of Iowa. And Darnay Holmes out of UCLA. A couple other guys. Amik Robertson out of Louisiana Tech, man. I'm a huge fan of his game, but after taking Noah Iggy out of Auburn, there really is no need to take the speedster Amik Robertson out of LA Tech. On to safeties. This is another awesome crop. I think between edge rusher, safety, and tackle, those are definitely the best position groups left on day 2. So Xavier McKinney is out there. I think that Dolphins definitely could be taking a look at him. Antoine Winfield, I definitely think his medicals are throwing off teams, but man, he is a first-round talent. I just think he can do it all at safety. 7 interceptions last year. He's just going to make some team out there incredibly happy. I really thought that the Seahawks were going to take him. I think it was 27th overall. I really thought they were going to take Winfield, but yeah, they went with the linebacker. Grant Delpit, super talented guy, but obviously his lack of tackling ability is hurting his draft stock. But yeah, I think he'd be a tremendous versatile piece for this defense, and I really think that Coach Flo and the defensive staff could get the best out of Grant Delpit. he'll definitely go in the second round, just like Winfield and McKinney. They'll go early to mid-second round. Jeremy Chin out of Southern Illinois, big, powerful dude. He could be an option for us in the second, possibly third round. Kyle Duggar, Lenore Ryan, and last but not least, Ashton Davis out of California. I definitely want the Dolphins to take him in the second round because he'd be the perfect deep safety, in this defense. And I would just love him on the team. He's got tremendous speed and just instincts and tackling ability and intelligence. Ashton Davis. And also he'd be reuniting with his old coach, Gerald Alexander, who coached the secondary for California the past. I'm not sure how many years, but yeah, they would be reunited. So that's it for the possible day 2 options. A number of great guys here, man. There's a number of guys that are definitely first round talent. So Yetur Gross-Matos, Josh Jones, Xavier McKinney, DeAndre Swift, Zach Bourne, Antoine Winfield, J.K. Dobbins, Marlon Davidson, Denzel Mims, Trevon Diggs. I forgot to mention him for whatever reason. I missed his name. But yeah, you guys get the point. Jonathan Taylor, Grant Delpit, T. Higgins, Lloyd Cushenberry, AJ Epinesa, Christian Fulton, Laviska Shenault, Ezra Cleveland, Ross Blacklock. I mean, the list just goes on. There's like 60 more guys that can go really high in this draft. And man, we got a great chance to get a number of these talented dudes. We've got 3 picks, so hopefully on day 2 we can kill it. And I'm really confident, we're going to do a great job. So that's it for this video, guys. Looking forward to day 2. As I said, a number of great guys out there. And I also hope that you guys enjoyed my review of the first round. Tua, Austin Jackson, Noah Iggy. Really hope those guys can dominate for us moving forward. So yeah, we got day 2 coming up. And as always, it's fins up, baby. All aboard the Tua train.